grateful that you're having turkey sandwiches.
Why would you be grateful I'm having turkey sandwiches?
Because I grew up as a young man raising turkeys. We used to raise 50,000 turkeys. So this is like promoting the local industry.
So you grew up a turkey.
I grew up a turkey. I grew up with turkeys. I can tell you they're a lot tougher. I'm always so offended when people talk about the eagle and the turkey. It could have been the turkey and
as our national symbol.
As our national symbol.
Yeah.
It's so offensive to me. It's
Why?
discriminatory towards the turkey. I mean, turkey has a proud, rich history. What they eat when they first got here?
Eagles.
They weren't eating eagles. Those are a
right.
little harder to catch.
Spencer Stokes is from Tremonton, Utah, the way
Correct.
I remember, Box
That's
Elder
correct.
County.
That's right.
And then you ended up in the U.S. Senate as the number one dude for a United States Senator.
Chief of Staff for Mike Lee,
Chief
right?
of Staff for Mike Lee.
Which is, I think, what binds us together, our love for Mike Lee.
Let's just
right?
say our passion
Our
about
passion-
Mike Lee.
our
Okay,
passion
we can
for
go.
Mike
We can
Lee,
go
yeah.
there. And I know you hate to be called the most powerful lobbyist in Utah, so I will not call you the most powerful lobbyist in Utah.
Yeah, thank you, because it's not true.
I'm not going to go there.
It's hyperbole. It's not true.
With what your
You look
clients
around-
are paying you, don't you want to?
Well, I want my
called?
clients to think I am.
Oh, okay.
But my fellow lobbyists and legislators, they would think that would be terrible.
Now, speaking of this, we should pick up the camera and go barreling in, because Utah is the only state in the union that has a little lobbyist nest inside the Capitol building, like a little.
Technically, it's under the stairs. It's like, do you remember where Harry Potter was kept in the movie? He had to live under the stairs.
Right.
That's really where we are. We're under the stairs.
It's the poshest place in the entire Capitol. All of the big lobbyists. What do you put, like $100,000 and then a $50 a month in there to keep your membership?
No. But it is great space, and part of it makes it so you're not. Before we were always kind of like bumming copies off of people, or that was never good because
Right.
They could be copied, or you have to use a printer at somebody's, and that was never good. So at least there's a spot where we can go make copies and print things, and yes.
So,
It's very austere. Very austere.
oh, give me a break.
It's cinder block walls and white
my
paint.
gosh. Okay, I'm going to send you pictures
With
of
swinging,
this.
with swinging like just open light bulbs,
Bars.
just swinging through the.
And where do you hide the gin in there? That's what I want to know.
That's not allowed on the Capitol.
So you've
complex.
been up here one way or another since 1990, 1989, 1999, huh? Has it changed a lot? Is it different?
Yeah, very, very much so. When I first started lobbying, there were really no gift rules. There were no, and then the remodel of the Capitol made the access very much more restrictive. I joke with people that, you can go find John McCain eventually if you want to lobby him, or Elizabeth Warren. You just go stand outside their office, and eventually they have to come out. They have to arrive and leave and go to meetings, and you can walk with them places and talk to them. Here, because of all the tunnels and caverns and underground parking, a legislator, you could literally go the entire session without having to interact with me, which I'm sure you've thought about. You probably dream about that, Dabakis. How can I go? How can I plan my life so that I don't have to see Stokes?
So I get checks from lobbyists.
Yes.
Bizarrely.
Just ran.
Sometimes 500, sometimes
1,000.
700. I think the highest was $2,000. And I don't take them. What do lobbyists do? You just go start with A and just start writing checks and mail them out?
Well, let me tell you, I usually give to people who ask. So that's why you've never gotten thin dime, and because you've never asked. So
here's a couple of comments. We'll just take them as we
all right,
roll.
yeah.
Chuck White says, "Eat your food." We can't, because Timothy Clark got these, and they're now a week old.
A week ago.
And it says eat before February 1st, 2016. That's Chuck why we're not eating.
Yeah.
Jake Karn, the
Yeah.
astronaut, says, "Okay, this is genius." All right, thank you, Senator.
You think it really
Jake
was
Karn.
that, Jake Garn?
I think so, because there's a little thing in space there.
Well, but okay, it's social media. Anybody could do that, right? I mean,
skeptical, cynical.
well, I'm just knowing what everybody else knows.
Here's one from a Nigerian prince who says,
where do I send the money? So they'll hold on to it for me, and then they'll ship me so much back.
Okay, Jake Garn says, no, not that Jake Garn. Okay, well, that solves that. So if you want, if you've got a question or something for Spencer Stokes, really one of the players who really get stuff done around here, just type it in and I'll ask
or for
him.
Jim. For you, right?
Yeah,
Or
I'll take questions.
Senator.
But no math questions for me if you want to take
No, I don't do math.
So what kind of, I mean, your email is Spencer@SpencerStokes.com.
Right. I tried to find a more egotistical one, but it wasn't available. So it's just Spencer, because Stokes Strategies is the name of my company, but nobody can spell strategies.
Yeah, that's right.
So if it was Spencer at Stokes Strategies, I wouldn't get any emails.
There's advantages to that.
That's true. That's true. But so Spencer at SpencerStokes.com. I can't believe we're actually giving that out on Facebook Live.
Oh,
but yeah.
well, you got friends.
Did you want to be like Donald Trump and give out my cell phone number too?
Okay, my personal email is jim.dabakis@gmail. So there you go.
There you go.
So this money thing bothers me.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, it should bother you that people just randomly send you money.
What? Well, this idea, and I hear it all the time, the money never affects me, or I'm only giving money for good government. Well, if that's the case, then why do committee chairs and powerful legislators get so much more money? I mean, if it's just good government, then you got to divide it all up.
I generally give my money to fun legislators who I enjoy hanging around that are fun.
That's why I'm off the list.
Well, I know you don't take any money, so I wouldn't send it to you.
So what if the client comes to you, some client, and you just hate whatever it is they do? You know, this is the killing puppy industries, or for Republican,
They came to me once, and I said, I can't represent you.
You did?
The killing puppies industry.
Wow.
No.
Oh, I mean, is there any group that...
I have said no on contracts.
But
it generally wasn't
because
because of the issue. It was generally because I thought they would be difficult to work with.
Or they're not going to pay.
No, everybody pays. I've never had anybody stiff me.
Really?
Really.
Do you always win? Do you ever lose?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a legislative process. Of course you lose. You try to put the best spin on it to your client. You try to get something. Usually can come back the next year and fix the things that were untenable in the last legislative session.
My first bill, they voted no, and then one of Senator Vickers, who's about the sweetest guy,
He's a great
in
guy.
the history of the Senate from Iron County. He said, well, Senator, I just want to tell you, I'll make sure this gets put on interim, and we'll study this, and we'll come back. And I walked away going, wow, that's cool. It's not all
right,
lost.
yeah, exactly.
Of course, interim means it's all over.
We tell clients when we can't get something passed that we're going to put it on the master's study resolution.
Study.
And then you can send that bill to them, the master's study, and it has the item on it. You know that they.
So look, I agree. Without lobbyists, there would be big problems because we need information, and the best way it comes is when you have giant lobbyists on both sides, because then there's balance. Where it doesn't work so good is where you got expensive, knowledgeable lobbyists on one side, and then poor mom and pop on the other.
I think you think about lobbyists in a social setting, or meaning the issues that are advocates are advocating for. But I'll give an example.
All right.
I represent solar industry. I represent Solar City, and there's a lot of advocates up here that advocate for solar power. And so when the advocates have a problem, they usually send out a message to all of the companies, and they say, hey, would you have your lobbyists talk to X about this issue? And so there are very few cases where there's not somebody representing an issue. Now, I would argue that in the Bears Ears case, there's a lot of powerful lobby groups out there that are advocating for the protection of Bears Ears. The difficulty is that there's only not that many Democrats. I mean, in the Senate, there's 5 of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so their natural allies of being able who they could go lobby to, there's only 5, so it's never going to end positively for them.
Can I look at your badge?
You may.
So
Yeah.
now the law says every lobbyist has. What does the law say?
That anytime we're speaking to a legislator on Capitol Hill, we're to be wearing this.
And
Only on Capitol Hill, though.
You don't take this grocery shopping.
No.
I mean, originally the bill said it had to be like a placard that the homeless guy has, right? But it got whittled down.
Originally, they wanted us to list every client on there, and that wasn't going to work, obviously. But I do think they could have added an element of design to that. I mean, it's the ugliest badge you've ever seen in your life.
As a gay guy, I am totally offended by that part.
Yeah, you
of it.
should.
I mean, this is poor design.
It's poor design. Yes. Why can't you get that fixed?
So if I want to know where all of your clients are, is there a list somewhere?
Absolutely.
And how much they're paying you?
Not how much they're paying us, but there is a list.
All right. So we can look all that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked about. There was one client where you said, "Well, your business is too creepy. I'm not going there."
It wasn't too creepy. It was that I didn't think I'd have enough time. They didn't want to pay me enough to give them a lot of time, and their issue was difficult, and the people were difficult.
Is there? So what? I'm not sure. What does Rocky Mountain Power pay lobbyists a year? Would you suppose?
I have no
What are those?
idea.
Okay, let me say it this way. What does a big company pay if they have important issues before the state?
I'd say there's a range, and we've talked about this before, but there's a range between $10,000 and $100,000. $10,000 to $100,000. That's got to be a range that, some people take on issues. Like I'm helping Spy Hop this year.
This is a great organization.
And I'm helping Spy Hop, and I'm helping them for nothing, because I think what they're doing is amazing. They run a program where they take what actually young people are excited about, and which is film production and digital media and production of music and things that people, and they run an after-school program that keeps kids active in their school.
One of the worst moments in the history of the Utah legislature, at least during the now 5 sessions I've been here, happened. And I didn't know you were on the other side of that. So we'll talk about Rocky Mountain Power and what happened with rooftop solar, because it was unimaginably bad. But first I want to say, the Speaker of the House is a Republican.
Yeah.
You know him, right? You've heard of him?
I love Greg Hughes.
He's like a boxer guy?
I love him.
Yeah. So we're going to
I would never get in a ring with him, though.
No, neither would I.
No. He'd pummel me.
So the legislature, in its infinite wisdom a couple of years ago, because Utah was ranking really, really low on student involvement in civics, even in a country that's going down, Utah was going down even lower. So we passed some dumb law that requires every kid that graduates from a Utah school to pass this civics test.
And by the way, just as a note, it's the only test you cannot get a waiver for. You can get a waiver for SAGE testing, you can get a waiver for, but you can't. You have to have this to graduate.
The parents can't opt out either.
This is not you can't opt out of this. That's what I'm telling you.
So I said to the Speaker, this is dumb. This is not going to make kids excited about civics. Having them name the 9 Supreme Court justices or other. This is the worst approach in history. Let's get theatrics. Let's get Spy Hop. Let's get theater. Let's get video. Let's get where kids are. And he went, yeah. Then he took his daughter to New York to see Hamilton. So I was in Mexico. I got a call from the Speaker. He was bawling like a little
Sure, and he went to a Broadway show, and the first thing he does is calls the gay guy in the legislature, right? So stereotypical.
Exactly. Okay, we're cutting that out. We're cutting that whole thing out.
No, you're not.
I was not.
It's live.
You can't cut that out.
Can't cut that
it's
out.
It's going there.
It's live.
Anyway, you said we got to bring Hamilton to Utah, and we went. I kind of went to you, and he went to you, and you made magic happen. I never saw Lobbyist do a better job. That was amazing.
Speaker made magic happen. But
yeah.
that show is changing how young people view history. It's making them interested in it. It's making them read live because of that. So that I'm a huge fan of Hamilton and what that's done for putting our founders on the radar.
Wow, there's just a bunch of
questions.
Yeah, and we'll get to them, and we'll go rapid fire. But first, look, and you probably tell the story.
You don't even know what I was. You don't even know what I was just talking about because you were reading those, and I was just being filler.
Yeah, and it wasn't good filler, frankly. It was like these sandwiches, it was marginal filler. Look, really, one of the worst bills in the history of the state was passed by the Senate, which didn't surprise me. Went over to the House. It would have killed. It did kill rooftop solar at a time when we need it, and it was the giant utility, Rocky Mountain Power, just going in and beating the crap out of.
We had a battle over that, and we reached, I think, a negotiated compromise. And
please, is that your official line on this?
That's my official line.
Okay,
but now,
right.
if you want to talk about, we have a tax credit bill this year that Representative Peterson's running, that starts eliminating the rooftop solar tax rebate,
crazy.
And it's phased in. Look, I'm a huge fan of alternative energy. I mean, there in 20 years. 40 years, most of how we understand technology and power and energy, all that stuff is changing so rapidly.
Mike Lee, what's he like? Does he carry a copy of the Constitution?
He is a great guy. Can I tell you my most recent Constitution?
Yeah.
I'll call it constitutional carry.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm back at the inauguration, right? And it's the night before the inauguration.
Were you there for the women's part of it?
I was both. I went to both of them.
Okay.
Absolutely. I went to both. We decided to go get a hamburger later that night.
You and the senator?
Yeah, the senator. A couple of other people from Utah were there. And I, of course, work for Senator Lee. I find he actually is a delightful person. He's a very nice person. He gets demonized a lot, but he's really a great guy. And that night was the hearing on probably the appeals hearing on the most controversial thing that we've ever done at the state school board, and it's called the Utah High School Student Activities Association.
Spencer is on the state school board.
Yeah, so a tweet goes out from Ben Wood saying, ironically, the guy that helped pass this terrible rule, is not here at the appeals hearing. And I wanted to tweet back and say, I'm at an event that's been scheduled since, and I didn't know when we had changed. We used to swear the president in March, later on in the year.
Yes.
I did not know when it had changed. So I'm vocalizing this, and out came the pocket Constitution, and Mike looked it up, the 20th Amendment to the Constitution, 1933 is when it was changed to January 20th.
From March,
yeah. And so I was going to include that in my tweet, but I decided, after you type tweets, I wish Donald Trump would do this. He'd type the tweet and then think about it put it in ice until the ice melts, and then tweet it.
So he just has a weird, predictable take on most everything. And then occasionally Mike Lee will come up with something and I'll go, like criminal justice reform, and I'll go, you know what? He's got this one right.
Absolutely right. And I don't agree with you. I like Mike. What Mike's issue is the federal government has too much power and it ought to come back to the states.
Okay, so let's run through these because we only have...
Rapid fire?
Yeah, we'll go rapid fire.
His battery's about dead?
That's what's happening. Okay, Betsy DeVos. Yes or no?
Me?
Any opinions, any thoughts? She's the candidate to be education secretary
of course,
is worried about grizzly bears.
I don't think that she should be penalized because she likes charter schools or vouchers.
What about for being real dumb? Should she be penalized for that?
She should be penalized for being real dumb, yes.
Okay, then she's out. Let's talk about...
I didn't say she was real dumb, but if she...
If she was.
I haven't talked to her in depth, so I don't know.
I saw her on Rachel Maddow. Must be true.
Well, hey, the fact that she went on Rachel Maddow, you got to give her credit for that.
No, they just took clips. She wasn't really her.
Oh, wasn't really her.
Should we change Columbus Day to Indigenous People Day?
I'm agnostic about that. Look, I like it as Columbus Day, but I understand what everybody screams about it.
Is there too much fossil fuel lobbying going on?
There might not be enough. They're not winning all the battles.
That's because it's 90% of the arguments are against them, and they only win 75% of the legislation. Why do you support people that want to drill in national parks? And
I didn't say I support that, but look, I'm a believer in that we ought to protect Bears Ears. I don't think the net that was thrown over it is the right size. I think we ought to protect those kind of people, and definitely we ought to protect our national parks. But I do believe that there is a place for drilling.
What about the Dakota water?
You mean the
pipeline?
Pipeline. I support the pipeline.
Support the pipeline. Let's see. Thank you for watching. These lunches are terrific. What about militarizing the police and National Guard?
No.
You're against that?
Against that.
Let's see. I can't say that one. Cannot be saying stuff like that on Facebook.
I'm a delightful person. I can't believe you would say that about me. I don't even know what it is, but the way
it's me.
Oh,
me. Yeah,
they think you're hot. I like those pants a lot. That's from Hamilton. That's the line from Hamilton.
Hamilton? Yeah, we'll never play Utah. Todd Weiler will make sure it never comes if there's a lot of lines like that in it. Medical marijuana, yes or no?
This program actually could be viewed as liberal porn. This could be. Weiler needs to get over here.
Or the Food Network, right?
This is liberal porn, Weiler.
I'm getting screwed by Rocky Mountain Power. They keep my rooftop electricity for free, and I have no recourse.
They take all the extra that he generates. That's what he's saying.
And no recourse.
Yeah, no recourse. And this is one of the things that ought to be discussed in the rate case when there is a full-blown rate case.
You said rate.
Rate case, yes.
Because you want the rate kits looked at as well.
I want Rocky Mountain Power's rate kits looked at.
That's where I am too. Medical marijuana, yes or no?
I don't have a problem with medical marijuana.
Get rid of the Zion Curtain, yes or no?
Yes.
Mike Lee, why is he not speaking up against the horrible things happening in Washington?
Well, I think he actually has asked some difficult questions of some of the candidates.
But they're all caving with Trump now.
Well, they all are, because you have to ask yourself: is it the right of the president? I mean, the Senate's there to stop, rapists, rapists, and murderers.
Okay, his name is Spencer Stokes. He's on the state school board. I forgot to say that.
Yeah. For 2 more years, I'm not running again. I'd like to go ahead and publicly announce right now that I am not running again for state school board.
All right, you got it here.
Scoop.
Eat your heart out, Rod Decker. Spencer, you didn't eat your sandwich. I'm so disappointed.
Delicious. It's turkey. I'll eat it off air.
All right, cool. All right, we'll be back tomorrow and Monday. Monday we have Kate Kelly coming, because we're going to be talking about my Equal Rights Amendment bill, which is going to bring back the Equal Rights Amendment. 2 other quick things. Bear Ears hearing today, 4 o'clock. It's the only chance the Republicans have given for you to speak out on Bears Ears. They want to undo the protection. And tomorrow at 1 o'clock, check Jim Dabakis, Senator Jim Dabakis' Facebook. We're going to have prayers at the mosque in West Valley with the Muslim community, and we want you to be there. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao.